Here it comes from the famous Konig Wheel Studios. It's The Hype Is Right.
Hey guys, I'm Sam Crack and you're watching The Hype Is Right.
Hey guys, I'm Sam and I'm the CEO of Polycoop.
That little Dino. Hey, what's up? My name is Chris from Flyride, where I teach people all about how to build custom lights. And you can drill a hole.
I'm Scott from Konig. Before we get into this video, if you wouldn't mind throwing us a like and subscribing down below.
So when it comes to the NSX, I am going to say overhyped.
I think the Acura NSX is underhyped.
I'm going to tell you that they're completely overhyped.
So the NSX, I guess, is lumped in here because it's kind of a hybrid in a sense. The car is just right.
It's just got such big shoes to fill. I love the original NSX from Pulp Fiction when the wolf rolls up in the NSX. Like, that's when everybody was like, what car was that?
I don't think it gets some of the publicity and press of some of its competitors, like the McLaren, for example, which is also a hybrid car.
I think the market has dictated that by the fact that their resale value is almost half of what they were new and they're just a couple years old. Sure, these are cars that are super capable on a track, provide an unbelievable amount of performance.
Listen, that NSX is a sick car. It's crazy fast. It has a lot of, I think, regenerative braking and things that allow the car to be hybrid.
New NSX isn't that car. It's not that icon, but it's cool.
The NSX has amazing looks. I think it has great performance. It's all around a very good car. But maybe just because, you know, it's a Honda, or, you know, it came out later than the rest of them, that it doesn't get that same press that the McLaren does.
The NSX lacks the emotion that something like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari will provide you at the same price point.
I think on the surface, it's pretty cool, but like for $160,000, you could totally rock a top-of-the-line GTR, have tons of power, a back seat.
It's really expensive, but it's a cool car.
His name strikes terror in the hearts of his enemies.
That's good, because I like a challenge.
I'm sure they have the latest technology. Of course, it comes from one of the best auto manufacturers in history, but I think they're completely overhyped.
So I'm gonna say that this car is just right.
The Taycan, in my opinion, is just right.
I don't know. I think the hype is right.
Porsche Taycan, that's an interesting choice. I think these cars are stunning. For over $150,000, I just think there's way more interesting cars you could buy, ones that won't get completely crushed as you drive them off the showroom floor.
It's expensive. It's cool. It's certainly fast. I mean, did you see how fast that video where the guy flew off his driveway?
From my understanding right now, it's outselling all the other Porsches, the 911s, and all the staples that Porsche has been known for the years, and for good reason. That car is just absolutely amazing.
Porsche Taycan to me was really interesting because the first thing that you look at when you see that car is the lights.
You know, it has amazing range, amazing performance, and has a killer interior. Porsche did a really good job of making it seem very performance, but yet very luxurious on the inside. All the materials that they use, the way they put it in.
Listen, the car is cool, and if you have the money to buy it, I think it's a really, really interesting car to own and put in your garage. So the Tesla Model S, I'm gonna say, is underhyped.
I don't know. I think that the Model S is just awesome. I think it's underhyped.
The Model S, I think, is overhyped at this point.
The Tesla Model S is a true icon, and it's a car that's been hyped for almost an entire decade now, and the hype around them is just right.
Now, I know what you're thinking. What are you talking about? Everybody talks about Tesla, and you're right, they do, and the car is fairly expensive, but The one thing I don't think that Tesla gets enough credit for is how fast these freaking cars are.
It's the kind of vehicle that I aspire to get my act together so I could drive something like that around. You pop the hatch, it's got tons of room.
And the reason being is because it's already a 9-year-old car, and there's only been one refresh for it. But essentially, under all that, it's still the same car it was in 2012.
Since Tesla's been producing a fully electric car for so long, they kind of have it down pat. And the nice thing about the Model S is that since it's really their first mainstream consumer car, if you're interested in experiencing one and you're on a budget, you could go buy a used one. And if you've got the money to spend, you could go and order the latest and greatest with all the new toys on it.
And on top of that, you know, it's got the luxury and amenities that you would expect to be in a car of the future, with the exception of the fact that people keep falling asleep in the HOV lanes with their face pressed against the window. But if you can get through that,
I'd like them to fix some of the issues that the car's been known to have, especially from 2012. Very limited interior. There's only that one screen and the one cluster. Not much else going on in the interior. That's why it's at this point overhyped. I think that they've taken it for granted a little bit.
I don't know. I do think that's a super dope vehicle.
so that electric Mustang thing, I'm gonna say that the car, does it even have a hype? I don't even know how to rate this one. I'm gonna put it as just right because I don't know of anybody that really spends time talking about it.
The Ford Mach-E, in my opinion, is underhyped.
Looks like a pretty dope vehicle, so I'm good with it. I'm gonna say the hype is right.
I think that this car has just the right amount of hype. I love the fact that Ford is using the Mustang brand to boot their electric car lineup. I think that's a solid win.
This huge version of a car, but it's a crossover, but it's a Mustang, and it's electric.
It's going to be, I think, a killer car. It's going to be Ford's first entry into the electric vehicle market, first real entry, I should say. And I think they're just going to knock it out of the park. They're going to do everything they can to make this the best possible car that they offer.
But as I think we'll find out with the Mustang Mach-E and its regular or even GT trim, is that it will age and become probably just another run-of-the-mill electric car. Once you've driven one of these fully electric cars, even though they're really fast, they all kind of feel the same.
We've seen Von Gittin Jr. just tearing it up in that thing, and you get all inspired when you see a completely raced out version of something. But almost like I can see people modifying these things because of that, which obviously is what they wanted to do, right? Like they wanted us to be all pumped up and stoked on this thing before it comes out.
The technology looks like a new car technology from Ford, so I don't think it really stands out from the crowd enough, but I'd imagine it'd be an amazing daily driver.
I think they're coming, but there's nothing really super exciting about the electric Mustang at this point to me. I think the Mustang name has a lot of history and a lot of pedigree, and I think this didn't really do it a whole bunch of justice.
In the center they have that huge display just like a Model S does. It looks very nice in the pictures that I've seen. I think they're really going for that luxury like high-tech car that has great performance, great range, and just that Ford tough build that they're known for.
And once they get it in the hands of a bunch of enthusiasts, I think we're gonna see things, cooler lights, cooler, like crazy different expressions of that vehicle that won't just make it look like a, practical family vehicle.
It looks more like a mom's soccer van with cool headlights.
I'd drive that Mustang. Thing is, to me, I think it's kind of overhyped.
In my opinion, is overhyped.
Really cool car, and I would go as far to say that it's just right.
The BMW i8. Now this is more my speed. I think these are completely underhyped for one main reason, and that's their style.
The whole hybrid thing, to me, it's not amazing at one particular thing. Maybe besides looks, it looks pretty cool. I don't know, the doors.
The reason it's overhyped because it does not accomplish any one thing too well. So it's basically not the best of any world, but it was meant to be the best of both worlds.
Look, I think that the cars are extremely expensive, and getting replacement parts for any electric car is probably expensive, and a BMW is probably like super through the roof, right? But I don't think that the car is nearly fast enough for how aggressive it looks.
And it has the substance to back things up. It's got your typical BMW sporty feeling, along with BMW technology, which is excellent.
You've got this super expensive vehicle that's supposedly a supercar. It's got a 3-cylinder motor and the whole hybrid electric. It's cool.
For its price and the looks, it's very lackluster.
The i8 is a cool looking car. It really is a sports car, you know, through and through, until you get to the fact that it just doesn't have any power. I mean, I think even Rich Rebuilds, he ran it in the quarter mile and ran like 15 seconds or something. I mean, that's not a sports car to me.
Now, something a lot of people don't know about the i8 is if the hybrid battery gets completely depleted, you lose out on all that additional torque and power, which makes the car relatively slow if you're comparing it to other mid-engine cars.
It's not very practical, so it doesn't really give you the performance that you would expect in a car like that, but it also doesn't really give you anything for day-to-day usage. You know, there's nowhere to put your bags, there's nowhere to go to grocery shopping with it, and it's not exactly a track car. The only thing that really has going for it is the looks and the interior design.
As long as you take one out while the battery is completely charged, you're going to have a good time, and I think you'll agree with me that these cars are completely underhyped.
Well, I said just right. I'm moving it to overhyped. I don't even care what hype it has. It's overhyped.
Hey, I'm just pumped to be here. If you enjoyed this channel just as much as I do, smash that subscribe button and the notification icon so you don't miss the uploads of The Hype is Right and the awesome podcast every Wednesday.